I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, hello everyone, Ryan here, and today I'm gonna be reviewing the latest self-titled debut album from Harry Styles. Harry Styles doesn't need much of an introduction at this point. He is famous for being part of the worldwide phenomenon that is One Direction. Now, honestly, I've never really been a big fan of One Direction. I mean, yeah, they're quite fun, and some of their songs are pretty okay. You know, they're not as bad as people said they were. That's true. But I was curious to see what was going to happen on this new album from Harry Styles, because he released a single, Sign of the Times, and it was a massive change of pace from what he did at One Direction. Harry Styles isn't the first to do this from One Direction. Of course, last year Zayn broke away from the band and released his debut album, which in the album he failed basically at making sexy sounding music. It was pretty boring overall. It wasn't very good at all. But Harry Styles was the second guy to decide that, you know, boy band music wasn't really for him anymore, and he's matured a bit and he's decided to release this new album here. And this album has really caught me off guard because I was not expecting this. I did not really believe that an artist, a mainstream pop artist that came from a boy band, would release an album that took influence from the 70s in 2017. Like, you know, you get a lot of artists that take influence from the 80s. 80s pop is kind of a trend in some areas of pop music now. You get it from Bruno Mars, he pulls from that era a lot, and there's loads of other artists that do it as well. The same with the 90s, but the 70s, the 1970s, no, that is really something that's unheard of. On this album you can hear influences from David Bowie, Neil Young on the slower acoustic ballads, Paul Simon, Elton John, and even 60s artists like the Rolling Stones and the Beatles. Like, I just was not expecting this at all. And Harry Styles really does those classic rock sounds well. I mean, you know, I suppose I shouldn't be too surprised that he does them well, because on some of those rockier One Direction tracks in the past, you know, they did do their fair share of ripping off classic rock tunes. You know, they ripped off The Who, The Clash, even Def Leppard on one of their songs, I remember. So in retrospect, it's kind of clear that Harry Styles has always had a love for this style of music, and on this album he displays that he can do the sound incredibly well without really drowning in his influences too much. I mean, he has his own style, and it's not like he's clearly taking away from a certain song or a specific song or a specific artist all the way through. He's got his own ideas. And sure, these aren't the most original rock songs ever made, but they're really well made. That's the thing, that these are really good songs on here, like the track Carolina, which on the verses, the vocals remind me of Beck, which is really good, and then on the chorus, she's a good girl. It's really catchy, and the backing vocals as well to match it. It's a really damn good song. Also the song Only Angel, which is really well placed because it comes after a few of the slower tracks, but then the music on this one really picks up. It's like a Rolling Stones-esque track, and it's got a pretty simplistic hook on the chorus, but it's just so catchy and it's so good. Kiwi is another one of the great tracks. It's kind of a dirtier rock sound, like it's sort of like you would hear this in like a really like rundown pub and a local rock band is playing, but it's just got that really great sound and everyone's like at the gig and they're energetic and they're just drinking loads of alcohol. It's kind of one of those tracks. I really like the song a lot. Yeah, you could make the case that a lot of these songs could be written by anyone, and most rock bands do this sound often, but I think it's the fact that Harry Styles has quite a lot of charisma, and even though the hooks on the songs are very simplistic, they're done so well and they work incredibly well. Maybe apart from the song Woman, which basically the chorus is just woman and it's kind of just repetitive and redundant. It's a pretty boring song. I think the instrumental is kind of dull as well, and I really don't know what the hell it is, but every now and then on the track this wah appears in the background, like it's this sample sound, and I don't know what it is. It really ruins the song. It's just like wah, and I just can't like shake it off when I hear it. It really is one of the worst songs here. It was probably the worst. And also Harry Styles in fact really knows how to slow things down. He makes really good slow acoustic ballads like the track Sweet Creature, and it's kind of a reminder that James Arthur probably should take notes from Harry Styles, because he can't do these kind of tracks anywhere near as good as Harry Styles can do on this album. Two Ghosts is another track where the instrumental slows down a bit, but it's still got the electric guitar in there. And this track is about a breakdown of a relationship, and once a relationship is over, the two people involved aren't the same people that they used to be, and a lot of things have changed. And the thing about this album is that most of them are about relationships and girls and all that kind of stuff, but it's not completely cliche. The lyrics aren't that great across the album. They are pretty good considering Harry Styles is still quite young, so I feel like he could improve on this in a few years with follow-up albums. Then again, you could look at the writing credits for this album and it is pretty a damn long list, so you could argue that he may have not had that much input on the lyrics, but then again, I don't really see that as a criticism towards an album. A lot of people always say, yeah, but look at the writers, oh, there's so many people involved. Well, who gives a shit, if the songs are well written and the music's good, I just don't care. And I also need to mention that I do like how the opening track and the closing track kind of come round in a way in full circle. The opening track, Meet Me in the Hallway, which has these the verses which very much sound like a Simon and Garfunkel song, which is kind of funny because any One Direction fan probably wouldn't want a Harry Styles album to start like a song that came from the 1960s, but it still kind of makes me laugh. But on the lyrics, on the outro, he's saying how we don't talk about it, and then on the closing track, a really nice end to the album where Harry Styles is talking about a comfortable silence is overrated and they should talk more, and I feel like there's some kind of thematic link there. And Sign of the Times, which I mentioned at the start of this video, is probably going to go down as one of the best singles of the year. It's a fantastic track. The emotion that Harry Styles has on this song is just unbelievable, and yeah, I think this album is very good. I'm really shocked that I'm going to say that, but Harry Styles has put out a great album in 2017, and I would definitely recommend it to most people, to be honest. This album is easily getting a B from me, and hopefully this album grows on me more throughout the next few months. I'm kind of curious to see if it does or it just kind of remains the same, but I'm looking forward to seeing what Harry Styles does in the future now, because I think he's going to mature more. I think his voice might become even more rougher, and I think that he will become even more charismatic. He's not quite the Mick Jagger yet, of course not, but I think in a few years we could see a lot of growth from him, and I'm excited to see it. I'm surprised, but I'm excited, and this is a very good album. Make sure you listen to it. Also, make sure you subscribe for more music reviews, and have a good day.